Welcome to the Inside Syracuse Basketball Podcast. I'm Mike Waters. Today on the podcast, I'm joined by Jimmy Boeheim. I talked with Jimmy about his 1 year at Syracuse, his thoughts on this past season, and his future plans both on and off the court. Well, welcome back to another edition of the Inside Syracuse Basketball Podcast. And today's guest was practically a given because after our most recent one, which was Buddy Boeheim, we knew that the only guy that could follow Buddy would be his older brother, Jimmy. And so here today we have Jimmy Boeheim with us. Jimmy, how are you?
Doing well.
Good. I hope you don't mind coming after your kid brother. I was actually thinking this was, we let him be the lead off and you're kind of more the cleanup guy.
Let's go with me.
Well, what have you been doing with yourself since the season ended? It's been about 2 or almost 3 weeks now, right?
Yeah. So when it ended, obviously, you take about a week off. I think my body really needed that just, from playing a lot of minutes and, the crazy schedule towards the end of the year, just playing a lot of games and stuff like that. So took a week off, just kind of decompressed, which was good. And then, as of the next week right after that, got back to work. So I've been going for about 2 weeks now and feeling good and just trying to prepare for the next step, finishing up classes and just stuff like that. So it's been good.
Now, in addition to finishing up your classes, which will earn you a master's degree, right?
Yep.
Congratulations on that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So aside from that, what will be the next steps for you?
I think it's me and Buddy are going to go to New York in a couple weeks here and train for the summer. Kind of just make sure I'm in tip-top shape and I'm, improving every day on my skill set just so I'm ready for whatever opportunity comes. But, aside from that, I don't know what's next. Just going to have fun with it and, see what opportunities come my way and being excited for whatever those are. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, and the agent, the guy who's going to be handling you with Rock Nation is a Syracuse guy, Drew Gross.
Yep.
Have you talked with him about what he would like to see you do? Like, would that be like play in the summer league or try to get into like maybe the G League combine or something like that?
Yeah. I think all those are definitely goals. Obviously you'd love to get some workouts with some teams, love to play in the summer league and then kind of going from there. Overseas is definitely on the table. So we'll see just kind of how everything plays out. But like I said, I'm trying not to worry too much. I'm just getting myself as prepared as possible, kind of controlling what you can control for now and just having fun with the process. So those are definitely some goals of mine right now, but we're just going to see how things go.
Well, it sounds interesting. I mean, the possibilities are not necessarily endless, but man, some of the possibilities just sound so cool. I mean, I know everybody's dreams to play in the NBA, but I've talked to so many guys who've made a career in Europe, and most of them, not all, but most of them talk about it being a great experience.
Yeah, for sure. If that's what happens for me, then I'm excited for it and I'm going to, have fun with it. I mean, to get paid to play basketball period is amazing. And, to be able to travel the world while doing it. I mean, how could I complain about that? Like you said, obviously everyone's dream is to play in the NBA and, that's always been mine. But, if that's not the reality, and it's overseas or whatever it may be, I'm just as excited.
Now you have a business degree from Cornell, right? And you're soon to have a master's degree in hand from Syracuse. So when basketball's over, whenever that is, where are you going? Are you a Wall Street guy? Are you going to start your own business somewhere? What's the goal?
That's a good question. I mean, I love my degree from Cornell. I really enjoyed getting it, and it really opened my eyes to the whole world of finance. So I definitely am interested in pursuing a career in that realm at some point, when the basketball side of things is over. So, I've just said I'm going to play until it doesn't feel right anymore. And whenever that day comes, whether it's in 2 years or in 12 years, I mean, I'll be more than ready to hang it up when it's right and pursue that next venue, I guess. But, for now, I still love the game more than ever. I have as much passion, as much drive as ever. And, I'm looking to play as long as I can, basketball wise.
That's cool. I get that. Now, when you were at Cornell, though, did you ever look to your right or look to your left in class and think I'm sitting next to a future millionaire? Like this guy's a genius or this guy's I can tell already this guy's going to know how to make money somehow.
I think definitely my freshman year, especially, I think I was a little intimidated coming in, because obviously basketball helps you get into school, and especially in the business school at Cornell, it's so prestigious and so few kids get in. I think I was looking around like these kids like just got in based on their academics and stuff like that. I was like, these kids are I was intimidated a little bit. But
I get it. I
as I
would be
got into it
too.
more and more, I kind of realized that I could hang with these guys, doing projects, doing well on tasks, stuff like that, and kind of got the hang of things. But I know there's going to be a ton of really successful kids in my program. I'm still friends with a lot of them. So I don't know, maybe one of them will give me a job one day.
Or maybe you'll go into business with one of them and the two of you will be millionaires together, right?
There you go.
Hearing you talk about that little bit of intimidation at first going into a classroom at Cornell sounds like a lot of guys' basketball experience. When I talk to some guys about either like taking a step up at AAU or taking that next step into college ball, I hear that a lot. It sounded so similar.
Yeah, for sure. I guess it was that side of things. I've never really felt that way too much in basketball. I was just kind of be more confident in that area of my life. But yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let's take that to the basketball point of view. When you went from Cornell to Syracuse, that's a big step. Were you at all, I don't want to say intimidated because I know that's a big no, but how did you approach that step? Was that at all daunting a little bit?
To be honest with you, I just believed in myself, and I knew that my coaches and teammates believed in me. And when you have that, it gives you a lot more confidence. And, I just I wasn't scared. I think if you don't believe in yourself, then, who's going to believe in you? So I kind of start there. And, I trusted that Cornell had prepared me for this, and, having success against high major teams, not just Syracuse, but, some other high major teams I played during my time at Cornell. And then, the experiences I've had playing with some of the Syracuse guys in the summer leading up to that. I knew it was a jump, and I think more than anything is and not necessarily, being intimidated or anything, but I think I stepped my work ethic up again, especially seeing guys like Cole and Buddy and Joe, how often they were in the gym. It just pushed me even harder. And I just wanted to make sure I was prepared as possible for this year.
I mean, you did have one advantage because for years you had kicked the Syracuse's leading returning scorer's butt, right? I mean, handily for years, right?
You talking about Buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've had our battles for sure, but even during COVID, being able to work out with him and guys like Eric Devendorf in our gym and just playing one-on-one and stuff like that, I think all those experiences, I've had so much great support, so many great experiences throughout my life that I just felt really prepared for this year, and wasn't going to go into it scared by any means. If anything, it was more excitement.
I know it was the big dynamic was you and Buddy playing for your dad this past year. But aside from that, what was it like for you to play with your kid brother for a year?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. I think what I've said is, obviously the on-court stuff was amazing. So many really cool memories. Not just, he's one of the best players in the country, in my opinion. So being able to play like a guy like that, period, is awesome. But for him to be your brother too, I mean, so many special memories. But what I've said is, even aside, we haven't lived in the same city for 5 years with Cornell and prep school and whatnot. So just to be able to, live with him up here in the apartment and spend time with him outside of basketball and kind of grow our relationship that way as well was everything. So, we're both just really grateful for this experience together.
Did you guys talk much with each other during the season about playing with your dad, or, what dad was going through with the season and trying to get this team to win games? And because I know it was a struggle time, but what was it like for you two to be around your dad and to be coached by him and all that?
I wouldn't say we talked about that too much. I think we both kind of have a feel for that at this point, and we both talked to him individually, obviously. So we kind of have a feel for that. But, playing for him was really special too. And similar to Buddy, just being able to spend that extra time with him, both on and off the court, and kind of being able to see him up close. I've watched from afar a little bit, especially in terms of practice and games, his whole career, and be able to talk to him after the games and stuff, but to be a part of all those battles and stuff and see how he handled everything firsthand was really awesome. And, I'll cherish it forever for sure.
Did it help, that COVID year when Cornell and the whole Ivy League didn't play and you were back home most of that time? Did it help you prepare to be coached by your dad, to be around him a whole heck of a lot that year that you were out with COVID?
It wasn't really firsthand. I don't really think I didn't know what to expect until summer workouts
Huh?
or
Oh,
like team practice stuff started in the summer. So I don't even think so. I wasn't really working with him too much. Like he'd come down once in a while and give me a few things, a few pointers, stuff like that, help with my shot, whatnot, just talking through, maybe what I would need to do. But it was never really firsthand, like him coaching me directly. So I didn't know what to expect until this summer.
you did watch a lot of games with him that year when you were out, right? And maybe sometimes you watch like a Syracuse game, a tape of it.
Yep.
What's
Yeah,
it
we
like?
did.
What's it like watching a game tape of a Syracuse game with your dad?
Oh, it's awesome. Those are great experiences for me. Just kind of seeing what he wants his guys to do and how he views the game. I think I learned a lot just hearing some of his takes on stuff, and just breaking it down. I mean, we both love basketball, so we kind of go back and forth a little bit. There might be a few arguments here and there, but obviously I'd end up bowing out because, he knows more than me at the end of the day. But just a lot of fun, just from a basketball fan perspective, to be able to watch those games with him.
I've heard stories from people like he can pick stuff out quick, or he retains it. Like like if he coaches a game and live and in person, and afterwards he's got the whole game still in his head. Is that what he's like?
Yeah, I mean, we'll be watching a game and something that happens in the game will remind him from something. He'll be like, "Oh man, we played Georgetown in 1979, and so and so did something just like that. He did this and whatever." And he's got any game on file from his whole career. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
That's amazing. That kind of
Yeah,
recall.
yeah,
Yeah. Buddy was on this podcast recently, and he said that in practices this past year, your dad, when he wanted to really get on you or get your attention, he would say, "This isn't Cornell. You're not at Cornell anymore."
yep. That was a favorite line of his for sure. He's got a couple for most of the guys, but that was mine. Uh, it is what it is. That was his go-to, I guess.
It's not too harsh, all in all. I mean, it could be worse, but in a way, it is a good way to get your attention if he wants a little more from you, right?
Yeah, that's just kind of what I took it as. I just got to step up a little bit. But yeah, that's all I took it as. It's not the worst, but yeah, I don't know. He gives Cornell a little bit of bad rap sometimes with that, I guess. But I mean, it is what it is.
I would say he's a Syracuse grad jealous of the education you got at Cornell,
Yeah,
right? Really?
yeah, exactly. I think that's all it is.
Um, this past season, obviously, I don't think it went the way you or Buddy or anybody, your dad wanted it to go. How difficult was it? Or was it difficult?
To be honest with you, I mean, it was the hardest experience of my life. I think I grew so much from it in so many ways. Uh, obviously having so many expectations going into it, knowing it was my last year and my one and only year here to kind of leave my impact and for this team to leave our impact. And I think we faced so much adversity this year and had a lot of tough breaks down in the game. And at the end of the day, I don't think our record really shows how good or bad of a team we were. I think, we were in every single game this year except for maybe two. And just ultimately I couldn't find a way to win some of those close ones. And, had some tough injuries at tough times. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm still dealing with it every day. I don't think I'll ever fully get over it. But the further we get away from the season, the more I'm able to kind of appreciate a lot of what made this season so special. Aside from the wins loss, I'm just proud of this group. I think our fight and we stayed together all year, and we lose a heartbreaker and come back and work even harder the next day. And just the way we kept coming back and sticking together. I mean, I think that says a lot about just our character and stuff. But yeah, ultimately it wasn't the year we wanted to have. And I'm like I said, I'll never get over it.
It's interesting, and I'm not surprised in a way to hear you say that, but to compare it to what your dad said in the post-game press conference after the loss to Duke at the tournament, when he said this past season was his greatest ever in coaching. Obviously, I think that's the father's viewpoint of having a chance to have coached his sons. I know probably on another level or maybe another day, he would also say he didn't enjoy losing this year, right?
Yeah, I mean we're all competitors. That's why we play. We love winning. Um, so at the end of the day, I mean, I know that the wins and losses hit him as hard as it hit any of us, if not harder. I know he struggled through it all. And yeah, I mean, it was, that aspect of things. That's why he says it was the best year of his life. I mean, the best coaching year of his life because, he got to do it with us. But the loss aspect doesn't get lost on him by any means. It doesn't get lost on any of us.
What was it like, though, to sit there and hear him say that?
I mean, it meant a lot. I think in the moment I was, that one really hurt. We left it all out there and we were just fighting to play another game, fighting to get Buddy another game. And, that was kind of what was on my mind first and foremost. But hearing him say that in the moment, it kind of lifted me up for a second. It felt good for sure. It was cool to hear him say that.
It was great, I'm sure, for you and your dad and Buddy to all have this past season. You had to play a year at Syracuse for your dad. That was awesome. But you were here because COVID and the Ivy League took away what should have been your senior season. Looking back on that, how much does that still hurt, or how much of a disappointment was it to not be able to play out your career at Cornell the way you should have?
Yeah, I think what hurts more than anything, not just, is because I could have had both. Once they ruled that we were getting the year back anyway, I was like, okay, this is perfect. Like I'm gonna finish at Cornell and then I'm gonna have the extra year. And if things line up perfectly, I'm gonna go to Syracuse and kind of get the best of both worlds. So, it's hard to complain too much because I did get this year at Syracuse, but me and my teammates at Cornell still kind of felt we had unfinished business, and to be the only league in the whole country that couldn't figure out a way to play.
Yeah.
It was frustrating, and having to take that whole year off was frustrating, and kind of to end our careers together. We were really a close group, and to end our careers together, that in that fashion was definitely tough. So, like I said, it's hard to complain too much because obviously I got this incredible experience this year, but there's an alternate universe maybe where I got the best of both worlds, but it is what it is. I'm still so blessed, so it's hard to complain.
Now, I haven't seen anybody from the Ivy League in that year yet petition the NCAA to play another year. And I know you're not going to. I know Paul Atkinson at Notre Dame, who came from Yale, he recently said he's not going to petition either, but eventually I expect somebody, a former Ivy Leaguer, to do that, right? I mean, shouldn't they be able to?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they'll give it to us or not, but you'd think someone will, but who knows?
I was thinking a lacrosse player.
I've talked to a few guys I know, basketball-wise, that moved on, and they're all good. They're all ready for the next step, I guess. I mean, we've all been in college for 5 years now, and a sixth year, and being a little bit older, I think that just it's time, I think.
Oh, you Ivy Leaguers are smart guys with 2 degrees now anyway. So what do you need from another year of school?
There you go.
What was the highlight for you this past year?
I mean, I think generally speaking, just being able to be with these guys every day, being able to be with such a close group, not just, my direct family in terms of Buddy, my dad, and my cousin Nick. But this whole team really became a family. We were so closer than any group I've been a part of. And, to be with guys like Coach Eight, Coach Red, Coach Jerry, Coach Griff, D Nick, I mean, and go down the line. I mean, those guys I couldn't have asked for better role models, coaches, whatever you want to call them. I mean, they're like family, and just being around those guys on top of everyone else was just so special. If I had to give you a broad one, but more specifically, I think, we look back on the Indiana game, and it was just such an exciting up and down game. So many guys contributed, and we had a great crowd that night. I think that's one I'll look back on and remember in a good light for the rest of my life. Yeah.
Is it weird that if I put down like my top 3 or 5 moments from this past season, that a loss to Duke would be one of them?
Yeah, I mean, that game was so much fun for the first 37 minutes. Kind of fell apart there at the end, unfortunately, but it was a lot of fun just being out there competing, and just knowing that my brothers were out there with me fighting as hard as as I was, and we were just giving it all and having fun being out there competing. That's one I'll probably put on maybe for my grandkids one day, and then maybe something goes wrong with the tape around the 2-3 minute mark and it gets turned off. But yeah, I mean, that was being able to play in the Barclays and, Madison Square Garden too, and all these great venues we played at, those are all definitely really cool experiences. Just wish we could have closed that one out. And, I still run through those last 2-3 minutes almost every day.
It was pretty amazing. I'm always going to remember that game as for the 2-3, the triangle and 2.
Yeah, credit to the boss man for that one. I mean, they killed us the first 2 times.
Yeah.
We had no answer for them with the zone, and he comes out day before with that, and it really threw him off for a long time. So credit to him for that one. He still got a few tricks up his sleeve.
What was your all's reaction? What was the reaction from the players when you guys show up at that practice or walkthrough or whatever it was, and he starts talking triangle and 2, which is probably something none of you guys have ever played before?
I think we were just excited I think we knew that we had to throw something new at them. I mean, they're a great team, and you see what they're doing right now, I think playing as well as anyone. Mm-hmm. So we knew we kind of had to switch it up on them, throw something new at them. So when he said, we had something new, I think we're all excited.
Now, of course, you played that game, though, without Buddy.
Yeah.
How hard? I mean, I've talked with him about it. What did you say to him that night when the ruling came out that he was going to be suspended for the game?
I just told him I was going to do everything I could to get him another game. And really? That's what I did. I mean, it was just kind of trying to comfort him. I mean, I was with him when we found out, and just, seeing the devastation on his face was just one of the hardest things I've ever had to witness. Because, people that know him know how good of a kid he is and how uncharacteristic that was. I mean, he knows he was wrong. He was wrong, but I mean, it's the heat of the battle, heat of the moment, and stuff just it happens. I mean, it's tough. But like I said, he knows he was wrong, and just seeing that he had to deal with it and stuff and the miss, my dad's already gotten into all of that. I don't need to get into it again, but just seeing him have to deal with that was really tough. And that's why I just told him, I'm going to do everything I can to get you one more. And I think I was just playing. I mean, I was just playing for him that day. And that's where all that extra passion and emotion came from.
A little bit extra arc on those 3-pointers you were shooting. My God.
Yeah, Buddy might have helped me out on a couple of those. I don't know.
You just go higher, though. You have this moon arc thing going on.
Sometimes.
Well, I'm tell you what, that was an experience that I can't compare anything to. That the whole tournament experience, Buddy's situation there, not being able to play, and then you guys giving Duke a battle, like you said, all the way down to the end. Just 2.5, 3 minutes shy of really just a stunning upset, and that would have been something. That would have got some people talking. Definitely,
yeah. I can't think of any bigger upsets in a conference tournament or something like that. So that would have been, like I said, I still played it back those 2-3 minutes. I mean, wanted that one more than anything.
So I see you got a New York Yankee hat on. Are you ready for baseball season? Is that what the deal is here?
I'm ready to go. Hoping we can get Aaron Judge signed here soon, and then get things going. So I'm excited. They're my favorite sports team outside of Syracuse. Looking forward to following along with my dad and Buddy. And like I said, we'll be in the city, so I'm sure I'll catch a few games in person, which I'm excited for. There's no better place.
I would find a Baltimore Orioles hat of mine, but I haven't had a chance to put one on in so many years. I don't know where they. They're around here somewhere.
I won't tease you for that. I won't tease you.
There's a Cal Ripken ball. That's probably before you were born.
It might be in the trash can somewhere. I don't know.
Thank you very much. You're a great kid, Jimmy. Good.
My bad. I couldn't resist. I said I wasn't gonna. My fault.
That's okay. Listen, Orioles fans, we're tough. We have to.
You guys are tough. Hey, there's something to say about that. There you go.
All right. Well, good luck to I can't even say it. Good luck to you in your future endeavors. We'll be following along as you go and, prepare for summer ball and all that stuff. And, good luck to you. And I appreciate, just being able to chat with you today, but also all the past few years. You've always been very gracious with your time and always interesting to talk to. So thank you.
Absolutely. I'm glad I could help. Thank you for everything as well.